triathletes that we have in the country. Despite a nagging knee injury that has pegged her back, she's looking forward to representing Kenya at the highest of levels. Jeff Mogire brings us the story of Josette Njeri and what her targets are. Have a good afternoon.
Kenya has not achieved so much in triathlon as a sport, but a triathlete is determined to bring glory to her country. She has represented Kenya globally with 25 starts, 4 podium finishes and 3 wins. The 20-year-old national champion has her eyes fixed at the 2028 Olympic Games in the USA. My name is Jeff Mogire, and this is the story of Josette Njeri, a medical student and a triathlete. For the last 8 years, Josette Njeri has been on the road, pushing her limits in triathlon. Born in 2003, Josette had no idea that she would one day represent her country globally. Today, she's the fastest rising star in triathlon in Kenya.
2016, the sport started to pick up again because more people are interested in like multi-sport, doing duathlon, because you have a lot of good runners, a lot of good cyclists in the country. And so the sport started picking up slowly again, and I decided to completely switch to triathlon in 2018 and started doing international races, obviously in 2019. And from there, I think it's just been a journey and I've not looked back since.
Triathlon is a sport split into swimming, cycling and running. It is an intense sport which requires one to use every aspect of their body. It is Friday morning in the Goto Kikuyu, 15 kilometers outside the Nairobi CBD. Her training starts here. Today, she is cycling 60 kilometers. With lack of clearly marked areas for cyclists along Kenyan roads, she faces danger every day.
It's definitely a necessity for a cyclist to go on the road, and it's something just to ensure safety the government needs to think about. Also because previously we've had like a couple of deaths in the past few years because of just cyclists on the roads and negligence of the drivers. Because, you know, most of the times the drivers don't know that we are actually traveling at really high speed. So they really neglect that aspect, and then it ends up in crashes. I think my favorite is when we're dropping, like going down a hill. I will be honest, I am afraid of heights, but that's what makes it so thrilling, like the adrenaline and the rush that you get when you're going down and the speed you're going at. It's like I could crash at any moment.
Cycling on a Kenyan Di2 bicycle comes with its share of challenges. The bike, which costs up to 1.2 million Kenya shillings, is difficult to maintain.
You obviously really need to have a functioning bike, a bike that's suited to you, and that bike needs constant servicing and constant like upkeep. So that in itself is very costly, and it's also very hard to like find professional bikes in Kenya. So you're having athletes having to import from out of the country, and also finding bike parts. For example, if your bike needs to be serviced and something needs to be replaced, you'll then again have to go through the extra expense of having to get bike parts from out of the country, which is again hard because bike parts are like designed for the specific model of a bike.
She has 4 coaches and each has their sessions. From cycling, she gets into swimming. She's expected to complete 3.1 kilometers today.
Then for this time you'll do the dolphin kick, 1, 2, 3, and then pick yourself up into the sprint pace, okay? All right, ready?
According to her swimming coach, Camila Lydia, Josette's discipline makes her work easier.
It has been amazing working with Josette, and we've been working on quite a number of things. Started with technique, building up her endurance, and we're now working on her performance. So for me, I put her in, she's an all-rounded athlete. When it comes to discipline, she has it. When it comes to respect, she has it. And she's consistent with her training. She balances her school and her training.
Her life as a triathlete has never been a walk in the park. Josette has a nagging knee injury that has halted her progression.
I've been having issues with my knees ever since I've been doing the sport, and it's been there for a while now. But obviously with strength and conditioning, it has gotten better. But the past few months, I have been nursing tendinitis injury for my patellar tendon, which I did get after competing back-to-back earlier in the year. So our focus right now is to just strengthen and condition my lower body so that my knee sort of is stable so that I can get back to building up my run.
Despite the injury, Josette has achieved a lot globally, including winning the Africa Championships in Watamu 2021 and 2022, winning the Africa Elite Women Championship in Senegal 2023, finishing 4th in the World Triathlon Championship in Algeria, finishing 3rd in the Under-23 Women Championship in Hurghada, Egypt 2024. Currently, she's ranked 8th in aquathlon globally.
Being ranked 8th sort of kind of puts pressure on me because like I'm really out there. And yeah, I just have to work towards that, and I'm using that pressure to sort of fuel my training and fuel like racing, aquathlon. And I hope it does inspire more athletes to also join and to also believe that it can be possible for us on a world stage to make it.
Her gym sessions, led by her strengthening and conditioning coach Tom Lagat, are a plus to her success.
I think her body is taking it positively because she's not like she was a beginner. She was somebody who has been training before. So for me, it was just to try and get her to become better and make sure that the things I'm doing are going to help her in her sport.
So the strength and conditioning really helps with sort of ensuring I can cushion the injuries and, build muscles around my joints to sort of stabilize them. And I think so far there's been a lot of improvement from, let's say, maybe a couple of months ago and maybe last year. So I'm getting less injuries than what I was previously.
Besides being a triathlon athlete, Josette is also a medical student at the University of Nairobi, balancing education and sports.
Obviously, it requires a lot of time management, like nitty-gritties. You need to allocate timing for studying, revising, and then you need to allocate timing for like training and competing. So I always just try and time, like I have a coach in Zim. We always sit down and plan my races beforehand, and we plan it obviously against my my school calendar. And if there are any changes, obviously, we will like shift things around to just make sure that everything is just running smoothly. And then obviously there are times when it's more focused on training, or there are times when it's more focused on school. So you just need to find that healthy balance between school and sports and just be very efficient in planning and time management.
Lack of intense competition in the country and the region affects the growth of the sport.
So you'll always find at home you're the best all the time, and you can't keep on relying on the home events. So you also have to go out there, share the field of play with international athletes. Then that's when you'll pick yourself up and train and be like, I need to work on this. I went to the competition, I didn't do this right, I have to do this. So it's a learning experience. And the more we go, the more experienced we become.
Another challenge hindering success of Kenyan athletes is lack of training facilities, making the sport expensive to sustain.
I think really if we had a high performance gym, it would be so much easier, not only for us as triathletes, but as well as other athletes. And another thing about triathlon is generally maintenance. I mean, you have to fund 3 sports, you have to find facilities to do these 3 sports. So it's hard in that aspect because you're not doing one thing, you're doing 3 different things in one.
Despite the challenges she has been through, Josette encourages young girls to take up triathlon.
Definitely, I am honored that a lot of people look up to me, and that's something. It shows me that at least I'm doing something right. I'd say to get into triathlon, you just have to have absolute passion and love for the sport, because that's something that will help you get through every day, considering it's not a walk in the park to train three things. So I'd first start by just loving the sport, getting to know what it is, maybe watching races and doing research on it. And obviously, if you have a background in any of the three sports, it's going to be so much easier going into triathlon.
At the age of 20, she's dreaming big, and being part of the 2028 Olympics is one of them. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 or 6 years?
Next 5 or 6 years, obviously my goal is to be able to qualify for Olympics, be it 2028 or the next one. The next 5 years, I'd hopefully have graduated college. Yeah, and just after that is just to look at longer distances.
Her journey has been grueling, but she hopes for a bright future. From the very beginning, Josette Njeri was destined for greatness. At the tender age, she knew triathlon would be her career, but now she has two, triathlon and medicine. At the age of 20, she's now breaking the barriers and flying the national flag high across the world. She's an inspiration to so many young girls who are looking up to her to make their career in triathlon as well.